Hey guys, Life Lessons Podcast. This is Doug Spence with SpenceLifeCoaching.com. So today I want to talk about something I call radical responsibility. You might have heard of radical acceptance and other, variations on radical. But radical responsibility essentially means to take responsibility for literally everything in your life that has ever happened, that is happening now, and that will ever happen. It's a perspective, it's a point of view where you have to choose to stop blaming others, stop blaming the world, stop blaming God or whoever, and you start taking responsibility for the way things are inside and outside. And the idea is that everything that your life, the way it is, was a creation by you. So what this does, it takes away any blame. And when you take away blame, you also take away victimhood. So now you're no longer a victim. The minute you take responsibility, you're no longer a victim. So one of the greatest things you can do, one of the greatest things you can take responsibility of are your feelings. So the minute you start taking responsibility for your feelings, you've now empowered yourself to control how you feel, no matter what is going on around you, no matter what happens. If you take responsibility for your feelings, it doesn't matter how things are on the outside. This includes criticism, rejection, loss of a loved one, loss of a job. All of the feelings are a creation of the thought or the meaning or the perception of that event. And guess what? You have control over your perception. If anything that you have 100% control over, it's your perception. So the minute you start taking responsibility of your feelings and saying, the reason I'm feeling this way is because I caused myself to feel this way, that's you also need to understand that you're taking responsibility for your perception of the event, your perception of the action or inaction. That this also applies not just to negative emotion, but also positive emotion. So in this case, no one or nothing can make you feel loved. No one or nothing can make you feel appreciated. You are making yourself feel loved. You are making yourself feel appreciated. It's just the perception of the event that's causing the feeling. It's the thought. It's all happening in your mind. Feelings are created inside of your mind. We think, we feel, and then we take action or we don't take action. So our thoughts happens first. Our perception happens first. So the meaning that we apply to it will affect our feeling. And as I mentioned before, if the perception is in the form of any kind of limitation, any kind of any perception of something missing, which is also a variation on limitation, you will get feedback, which is pain. So by choosing the limited view, you feel pain. And by choosing the unlimited or the infinite view, you will feel neutral or pleasure. So this is what I'm calling radical responsibility, where you start no longer blame. You just stop blaming. Now, something to watch for, because we may take responsibility in one area of our life, let's say at work, but in another area of our life, we may be a blamer. Oh, in a relationship, she did this, she made me feel this, and that's why I feel this way, because she did this, and that's why I feel this way. So, again, it's the perception of the action. The feeling, you have caused the feeling, whether it's good or bad. It's happening in your mind. You're creating it. So what this does, again, is it empowers you. It empowers you to begin taking control how you feel, no matter what. And again, we're gonna fall into the habit of wanting to blame. So if someone passes away, we're gonna want to blame our feelings on that event. But no matter what's happening, it's still just our perception of the event that's causing the feeling. So now that you've taken ownership of all of your feelings in every part of your life, now that you starting to recognize that you are the cause of your feelings, positive feelings and the negative feelings, you're the cause, and your perception is also the cause of the feelings. Let's talk a little bit more about how we change our perception. Most people don't realize how quickly your perception can be changed. It's kind of like looking at some of these optical illusions where it looks one way for a moment, and then you might turn it, or you do something, and the image pops. It changes. This is the same thing with your perception of everything in life. Every event you have deemed positive, every event you have deemed negative. It's all just based on a perception. So, if you deem an event as negative, then look for the benefit, look for the service to you. And if you've deemed an event as positive, look for the downside, look for the drawback to you. How many of you will actually look to the drawback of something you perceive negative? we're going to want to resist doing that. We're going to want to only see the upside, only see the benefit. But the downside still exists. Whether we acknowledge it or not, it's still there. Everything is a package deal. Everything has two sides. You got to take the bad with the good, and the good with the bad. And we only take both sides of things when it's something really important to us. When it's something that fulfills our values, we're willing to take the bad as well. And when it's something that fulfills our values, we're willing to take the good with the bad together. So start recognizing that things are a package deal. That beautiful woman also may be high maintenance and late. It takes a long time to get ready and attracts a lot of attention from other men, which can cause you to perceive and cause yourself to feel jealous. So maybe it's a package deal. And that criticism that you're getting at work is also helping you to get better at your job and to make more money in the future. So that is also a package deal. So just start noticing that things have two sides. A side that serves you and a side that doesn't serve you. The side that challenges you. And realize that yes, our perception of these events, support and challenge, when we perceive something supporting us, we're going to have positive feelings towards it. And if we perceive something that is challenging us, we're going to have negative feelings towards it. But when you see that everything challenges you and supports you, everything has a positive side and a negative side to you, you'll find that that's where you grow the most. That's where you expand the most. That's where you maximize your capacity to love others and yourself, and to appreciate others and yourself and the world. When we see both the challenge and the support, that's when we transcend emotion and we reach these higher feelings of love and gratitude and enthusiasm. When we can see both sides, when we see how these things are challenging and supporting us at the same time. And you realize that those emotions were being created by your limited or imbalanced perception. I can guarantee that any high feeling or any low feeling is caused by an imbalanced perception. So when you balance it out, when you balance out positives and the negatives, and not just the positive and negatives, actually, there's also the gain and the loss is another form of imbalanced perception. So if you perceive a loss, then also look for the gain. If you perceive a disconnection, look for the connection. Whatever it is, look for the opposite. Okay, so Life Lessons Podcast. The lesson here is to take responsibility for how you feel. When you do that, it empowers you. It stops you from being a victim. And the way to take responsibility for your emotions, how you feel, is to control your perception. And it's the limited, imbalanced perception that is what causes the emotion. So look at things as a package deal. Look at things as having both sides, a positive and a negative, a benefit and a drawback, a gain and a loss, a connection and a disconnection. Start seeing the whole picture. Start seeing the infinite picture. And you will be poised. You will be balanced. You will feel love. You will feel appreciation. You will feel enthusiasm. Okay, guys, if you're interested in getting coached, being coached, visit my website, SpenceLifeCoaching.com. Talk to you later. Bye.